Hello again, my fellow pilots and my fellow aircraft maintenance personnel. Your host is always Haitham Ali, and I'm an aviation technical instructor. Welcome to my aviation nuggets for today. Today I'm going to speak about the components of the autopilot system. The components of the autopilot system. The autopilot, everybody, is a part of the automatic flight control system that meant to control the aircraft around its center of gravity and meant to aircraft guidance. Okay, so the main computers of the autopilot is the FMGC, Flight Management and Guidance Computer, which is divided into management part and the guidance part. The guidance part of the FMGC is the autopilot, flight director, and auto thrust. Autopilot, flight director, and auto thrust computer. Okay, so what is the main component of the autopilot, everybody? Yes, as we can see here, autopilot computer and actuator. Is it only autopilot computer and actuator? No. We also have the FCU, flight control unit or mode control panel in a Boeing terminology, FCU or MCB. The part on the glare shield in front of the pilot that do have speed knob, altitude knob, vertical speed knob, okay, speed, altitude, heading, and the vertical speed knobs. This is called the FCU. And also the FMA, flight mode annunciator, which is the upper part of the BFD as an indication for the autopilot, upper part for the BFD. FMA, flight mode annunciator. Again, autopilot computer, actuator, flight mode annunciator, and the flight control unit is the main component of the autopilot system. Okay. The system must have a computer, which is normally called guidance computer in the aircraft. And it is the FMGC, Flight Management and Guidance Computer. It is management part, guidance part, okay, and the flight envelope protection part. So the guidance part is the guidance computer, which is an autopilot computer. So everybody, the autopilot computer is the central processing unit that manages all input to and output from the auto flight control system. Everybody, okay. So autopilot are loaded with software that is specific to each aircraft type of aircraft. In order to allow the autopilot to operate, the autopilot computer or FMGC need to be uploaded by the navigation database, by performance database, by the air data parameter, by the inertial reference system parameter, fuel and engine parameter. Okay, everybody? So the autopilot computer must be uploaded with software like navigation database and the performance database that is specific to each type of aircraft. The performance database is specific to each type of aircraft. They are also programmed to ensure that when the aircraft is controlled by the autopilot and the flight director, it is flowing safely within its flight envelope. So as I tell you, the flight management guidance computer is the autopilot computer. It is management part, guidance part, and the flight envelope protection part. The management part made the calculation or manage the auto flight control system, lateral vertical navigation guidance, vertical navigation guidance, and performance calculation in the management part. The guidance part is the autopilot, flight director, and auto thrust. And the third part of the flight management guidance computer is the yaw damper control and the flight envelope protection control. So, what second component for the autopilot, everybody? It is the actuator or servo control that actually attach to the flight control surface. Actuator produce the physical movement of the control surface and can be either electromechanical, electrohydraulic, or pneumatic actuators. Okay, so actuator or servo control is part of the autopilot system, as actually when the autopilot is engaged and active, it is physically manipulate and move the flight control surface. So signal from the autopilot are go to the flight control surface through the flight control computer. Okay, everybody. So the actuator is the second component of the autopilot system. What is the third component? It is the flight control unit, FCU, or mode control panel. FCU is Airbus terminology, and MCB is Boeing terminology. And actually, this is a set of rotary selectors in front of the pilot that allow the pilot to choose heading, altitude, vertical speed, okay? Heading, altitude, vertical speed, and altitude. Okay, everybody. So the FCU or MCB is the short-term control between the pilot and the autopilot system. And remember always, push to manage and pull to select. When you pull the selector and rotate, you as a pilot give a certain heading to the autopilot or certain altitude or certain vertical speed. Okay, everybody? So from the FCU, okay, it is used to allow the pilot to assess the situation and give input to the autopilot computer regarding speed, heading, and altitude. This command will be sent to the autopilot computer from the FCU, Flight Control Unit, or Mode Control Panel, Boeing terminology. Okay. What other component for the autopilot system? It is the FMA, Flight Mode Annunciator, where the pilot can monitor the operation of the autopilot. The FMA is the upper part of the BFD, or what it called in Boeing, the Electronic Attitude Director Indicator. Electronic Attitude Director Indicator. In that case, the pilot can monitor the lateral and the vertical guidance of the aircraft. Okay, lateral navigation and vertical navigation, can monitor the status of engagement of the autopilot, flight director, and auto thrust, can know the landing capabilities of the aircraft if we can do an automatic landing system or semi-automatic landing system, and can also know from the FMA, Flight Mode Annunciator, the auto thrust mode. Okay, everybody, this is the Flight Mode Annunciator, FMA, which is the upper part of the BFD, or Electronic Attitude Director Indicator. Okay, everybody, so autopilot computer, actuator, FMA, and FCU is the main component of the autopilot system. Thank you always for your good listening, and always fly safely and maintain your aircraft very safely. From Cairo, Egypt, your host was Haitham Ali, and I'm an aviation technical instructor. Please stay tuned for an upcoming sessions like this, and don't hesitate to share your knowledge and add value in a comment on this video. I will be very happy for that. Thank you and goodbye.